Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. This is Amy. Today we are going over the new Amy Plans Things release. I'm filming this the day before it releases and I'm trying to get it up for the afternoon. So hopefully I'm posting this the afternoon before it releases, but the release date is February 10th at 8 a.m. Pacific time. So we're going to look through all of it and then set up my bullet journal for the next month. So just so you know, these items are items that my patrons do get. And so if you're wanting to get it kind of like a subscription, you can go sign up over there. If you sign up today, you will not receive this kit. So you'll want to order this as well as the Patreon's subscription, because that will be the next kit after this. So there are like 10 spots available in the 2 levels that get Happy Mail. The Sticker Club level gets the sticker book, and the Happy Mail Enthusiast level gets the sticker book and the monthly trackers. So as always, just ask questions down below if you need to get more details about it, but those tend to sell out. So go ahead and grab those if you know you want these month after month. You also have a singular set of stickers coming out, which we'll take a look at as well. So these are just tapes we're going to use today. They're not new, but we'll go over those in a second as well. So Crayon Whimsy is a 4-sheet sticker set on 5x7 clear sticker paper. And this was one of the suggestions by my patrons. Rainy Day Bookshop won. My patrons always suggest and we vote, and it's super fun. And Rainy Day Bookshop won, but Crayon Whimsy was one of the ones that they suggested because in March, so a ways away still, but in March is Crayon Day. And so I thought it'd be fun to make some crayon stickers for that. So we've got all sorts of just crayons and then doodles as if they were hand-drawn by crayons. And then we've got them set up for Dutch doors. And this one's over here, the mirror image. We've got mirror image rainbows. We've got just some crayons that have doodles coming out. These can kind of be just like extra layering pieces or labels if you want to write on them in like a Sharpie or put a number sticker over it or something. And then that page, which I already flipped. Yeah. Okay. So we've got all that. I will note, since it's 5x7, because my individual sheets come at 5x7, they are a little bit smaller than the monthly sticker books or the Dutch door sticker books. These will not fit an A5 notebook or an 8x8 or anything like that, but if you got 2 copies of it, you could extend it, or with like this one, you add in the extra little doodles that we've left around, and you can make it all the way down if you're doing Dutch doors. But I also have this available as a printable on my Etsy, which if you do that, then you can print it as big as you want and fit in any sort of notebook. All right. So there's that. I'm really excited about that one. But I'm most excited about this. As always, I am working on production for this, trying to find that balance. And so we have, for full transparency, we have about 50 copies, just over 50 copies of each of these available on the shop. And patrons grabbed up the most of them. So I'm trying to find the balance of adding more patron spots for those who want it month after month, as well as having enough on the site. This is the last month that this is going to be dated. So hopefully this is not a problem moving forward, because when it's dated, it's hard to keep more stock of it. And so making it undated means you will be able to use it in April, even if it was a March item, and so on. So that is helpful. Anyways, let's flip through it and get to this. So this is Rainy Day Bookshop themed, and I love how everything came out. These might look a little confusing, but they're clear windows and they're flipped. So the idea is that you can measure the box. We're going to do this today so you can watch it. We can measure the box, cut it out here, and make a window so that we can have like an indoor and an outdoor view from our window in our notebooks. So it's an experiment, right? We'll see if it works. Here are some of the other images that I drew. I love how they all came out. Of course, I had to add the Space Needle in here, being from Seattle, and Rainy Day Bookshop vibes. So super, super fun. And of course, there are some items that are mirror images for those Dutch doors, but since this is not the Dutch door sticker book, it doesn't have everything mirror imaged. Whereas those Dutch door volumes that I'm starting to come out with, I'm trying to make, you know, everything Dutch door stuff. So there you go. All right, so this one has all these. This will stay the same moving forward because there's no dates on it, but you still have the ability to date things. Then we've got our boxes. And these are set up to fit planners as well. So if you have like a classic size planner, those will fit in there. We've got 2 strips of tapes. We've got an ephemera page, and then we've got like 3 pages of layered boxes. By the way, a version of this is always going to be available as a digital so that those who are printing out for their planners instead of putting into their notebooks can print at various sizes. So be on the lookout because all of the items here, all this stuff included too, are available as printables. So printables are now over on my Etsy shop. Just makes it easier to have physical items on my Amy Plans Things shop and digital items over on Etsy. All right, so as I mentioned, this is the last month that'll say like March on here, and instead next month, it's gonna have an added page at the front that has all the months of the year in it over and over again so that you could add in a few places the month if you wanted to. So those will be stickers that you can add in on top. They'll be clear so you can layer them on top of whatever else is in the notebook. So I'm excited about that change. All right, so we've got March cover, March goals, the mood tracker, habit tracker, step tracker. So the only change here will be that it takes out the month here. This will still have this, and then you can always cover up the ones that you don't need. That's we had a big conversation with my patrons about it, trying to figure it out, and most of them seem to agree that it would be easier to have it like that, where you can just white out or cut out the parts you don't need so that it can be used over time if they don't get to it in a certain month. So here we go, flipping through. Gratitude log, challenge, workout log, monthly miles, self-care bingo, month in review, and then the monthly like quotes page. Okay, then we've got our little calendar. And the way that this will change is we'll have that sticker page up front. And so it won't say March. You could put in March there if you wanted to. And then we'll have a set of number stickers so you could date it for where it needs to be, because every month is going to be different, right? So if the first starts here, you'll now have your stickers to line it up correctly. So excited about that change. Okay. So these are all like undated planner pages that you can use. I often will use them, or I often will cut them up to use all the images if I'm not wanting to use the planner pages. Then we have all of our scrapbook papers. And there are 10 scrapbook papers always, some just patterns and some themed with the monthly theme. The little brick one is my favorite. Okay, so that is the theme for March. And then today I'm going to be using 3 of my own tapes. They're available in my shop now. This one's a beige grid tape. This one's a very dark blue tape. It's like almost black, like super dark navy. And then this is a bookshelf tape. There aren't a ton of these left, but there are a fair amount. So if you don't have this already, hopefully you can get your hands on it. It's super fun. All right, so I like setting this up in an 8x8 journal because this is A5 sized. 8x8 is a little bit like a 1/4 inch shorter than an A5, but it's wider. Oh, I never decorated this page. Oh, I still haven't I haven't finished my setup pages, guys. It's been a busy month. But we've got all my pages here, and then this is January. Just finished this one. This is February's, and then we're going to March. So I like the 8x8 because I can make these Dutch doors without taking away the space for the trackers. So it still has enough space for the A5 trackers. Might need to cut down the sides a little bit depending on how small I make these, but it works pretty well. Okay, so we're gonna start here, and the thing we need to figure out is how we're gonna do it. There it is, lost it. How we're gonna do it with the window, because that is the main starting point that we're gonna use today, is creating this window. Okay, and so looking at it, we are gonna have March. This might be great for the no, but it's got the window in it. No, so we're not going to use this for here. We're going to use this on the next page. We're going to make a little fun window scene though. Okay, so do I want to add looking. Do I want to put this in the window? And what can I use to make the outdoor scene? Because I might have to grab some other things for that. Or do I just want 2 indoor scenes? Because I could go grab some like tree tapes and houses and things and build a scene. But maybe I don't want to do that because I have so many cute stickers here. Maybe it's just 2 views into the bookshop. Thinking, do I want to grab like trees and things and make an outdoor scene? No, I just want to use all of this. If you have trees and things, it's going to be really, really fun to make that, to have your indoor and outdoor view. But I just want to show you what you can do with these supplies without grabbing anything else. So the first thing we need to do, I'm grabbing my ruler because I don't remember how big these are. Okay, so I'm measuring from the inside line to the outside, or to the other inside line, which is 2 and 13/16. So I'm just gonna cut it a little bit bigger than that, so that I don't have any paper hanging over. And it's the same thing here. Okay, so now we are going to, do I have a pencil anywhere? I don't think so. So we're going to use this tiny little pen, and hopefully I don't mess it up. Let's just figure out where I want it. Okay, so to be able to make a Dutch door while doing this, we're gonna put it like here. We're gonna start with that one, and it's gonna go to there. We're gonna go straight down this one. It's gonna go there, straight down this. And I'm not going to draw the lines on this. I'm just going to use those points. And for the first time in a long time, guys, we are going to cut using a ruler to try to get a really nice straight line. And try to cut only as much as I have here. Okay. Great. And as always, I don't cut out mistakes or things like that. I show you guys the process and how I fix things if there are problems. So we'll see if this concept works. It was a bit of a risk trying to do this with these windows in this book because I've never done anything like this before, where you have a sticker as part of the Dutch door, like instead of just an open window. Oh, I'm ruining that cut line. We're gonna fix that in a moment. Okay, let's just get all the paper out of the way though. All right, so you can see that little bit, but that is okay. We're gonna like make it so it's not so problematic, and then just go with it. Okay, I think that's probably okay actually. So now we have a hole in our page. And let's see what happens. Okay. So the goal is to line this up so that none of the window is over the line. And that's kind of hard to do. And then the goal on the other page will be, I'm trying not to push down too hard because I don't want it to get stuck to the other page too much, because we do need to pull it up. Maybe I should have put like something in between. You guys learning from my mistakes. Push down the edges more. Okay, so you can see that there. You can see my hand through. This hopefully is going to give like an opaque window type of vibe. But again, we will see. Okay, how do I line this up though? Oh my gosh, this is going to be tough. And as always, doesn't need to be perfect. We try for perfection, but part of it is the process and making creative things for us. Okay, we've got an air bubble, but it's looking pretty good. So I'm going to pull it up to try to deal with the air bubble because I don't want that. There are a few little air bubbles, but they honestly kind of look like rain. So you see my hand. Let's figure out what we can do. Before we do that, we do need a Dutch door in this one. So let's... Oh my God. Spinning tapes. When it tears, it likes to curl up like a beautiful little curl. So we're just going to put it like this. And that'll be a good spot for it. But I'm wondering, I have these lamps too. Should I have the lamp like right here in front of the window? Because if I do, I need to trim a few things. Not right now. Let's not do that. We're going to figure everything else out. Okay. Do I want to do the lamp? I think I do want to do the lamp. So if that's the case, we're going to pull this up and place the lamp first because it's a clear sticker. We will have to trim a little window in a second as well. So because they're clear stickers, we want to see, you know, what's underneath. Okay. So the only problem here is this is a really dark tape, so it's hard to see the sticker underneath to know where to trim. So I'm doing my best. So beige might have been better here, or a different color tape to be able to tell where to cut. I'm just going to cut here, and if I need to cut more, I'll cut more, and hopefully I didn't cut too far. Okay, yeah, need to cut more. Did you guys watch the Super Bowl yesterday or this last week? I was super excited to see the Seahawks win. Born and raised Seattle, so you guys know who I was rooting for. But I'm not like, I don't follow sports super regularly. I grew up playing sports. I love going to sporting events, but I don't really watch many like televised games for anything unless it's like a big one, like the Super Bowl, the World Cup, because I grew up playing soccer, Olympics of course, but I don't really follow like the season for various sports. So yeah, okay. Now, you know what we're gonna do actually? We're gonna trim off that little bit. I think it's gonna look better without that. Make that more even, and then we need to trim off. Do our best. First, trim off the clear part right here so that then I can make a cut right around it, hopefully not cutting through the paper. And tearing up that little bit. We tore some of the paper, but that's okay. And then we have our lamp. Beautiful. Okay. That's pretty fun, but we need to finish the window scene. So inside, I just love this one. So we're going to put this one over here. Like that. And you can see our little shop in there, and it is like a window. It's rainy. It's a little translucent, like it covers up some of the vision because there's rain all over the window, but it looks pretty cool. Okay, so now we have to pick what we want to be on the other side. So this is that same window, kind of, if you can't tell, because it's got the same condensation patterns. So I think I want to do the children's book one just because I like this scene a lot and I think it's fun. So let's just try putting it lightly like that. See where it is. I'll lower it like a smidge. There. That looks so much fun. Okay, so this is the start to it. As you see, we don't have our normal like March cover because I'm doing this window. So we're going to figure out what I want to do about that. But this rainy window, I'm pretty happy with that. Okay. Okay, this one ripped a little right there. Like it wasn't perfectly even on the edge. So I'm just, oh, that one too. Okay. Waiting to find the spot. There we go. So if you cut this window for 3 by 3, it'll probably fit pretty well still. It was just under 3 by 3 what I did there. So you'll just need a ruler for that one. Okay. So, getting into this. Now. March cover page, or just accepting what it is and moving on. Okay, we could do the calendar like fitting in right like that with cutting it up, but I don't know if I want to do that. Let's just move on to the next page and see what happens. Oh my gosh, I keep pulling the tape too fast. Sometimes happens. I am gonna pull it and fix it and get it all lined up. Now, where is it going? Right there. Oops. Move that a little bit. It's nice that tapes are usually really easy to pick up and put down, so that if you need to shift something, you can. So I'm wondering if I might want to make things crazy. Usually my month in review is at the end, but now that I have these kind of set up like this, what if I made the month in review on these pages over like this 4-page spread? Because that would be pretty cool. I think we might do that. Let me think on that as we start to get all this stuff down, and we'll go from there. Okay. So this one has this. I'm not going to put it on this side just because I don't want to put in that effort right now, but it would look really cool if you did that, or if you had the lamp sticking out over the edge of the tape. But let's go ahead and now, if we do that, then March and what about goals just right away? Okay, so this one we have to trim down. When I start making all these cuts, it's not going to fit on A5 size, obviously. So you have to use your scissors and trim it down, which is why I leave it completely uncut so that you can size it, or you do sticker surgery in any way you need to make it work for your paper. Okay. So see, now that's going to fit right there, and that'll be our March cover, which is not at the very front this time. Okay. Super cool. All right, March goals are going to go in here, but it's going to be very tight for fitting it in with how much we've cut down onto that Dutch door. The subsequent pages will be easier because we'll have, you know, one 10 millimeter strip of washi tape more space each time or so. Okay, so this one we're gonna attempt to like put as far over as possible. That little bookshelf piece is gonna stick out, but that's okay. Okay, our March goals go right there, and that little piece I'm sticking right into the edge, so hopefully it doesn't pull up. Okay, so now I think with this one, let's get in our first Dutch door, like it's not a waterfall tab, and let's put in, we have that sticking out, so here we go. Let's take a look. These are mirror images. We've got the rainy day reads here, and this one fit, oh, these plants, we've already got the plant there though. Let's do the rainy day reads and put it just right there, and we'll get the blue. And put it like pretty much right up to the edge there. Oh, need to move it over even more. There, okay. And then we have to trim it a little bit. And of course, trim that. So this is my bullet journal, so I've got all my trackers in it, but of course you can use all these techniques to build your creative journal as well if you just want to write in it and you don't want to track things. So keep that in mind as you're watching. You don't need to use it for the exact same purpose. All right. Checking the time. Okay, since this one is like straight lines. I'm not going to use the gyro cut on it. I am going to round that corner just a tiny bit because I can. All right, and now before we get any trackers on this page, we are going to get this stuff done. There we go. Okay, what trackers do I want to use this month? I have my cover and my goals. We're going to turn this into the month in review, and I have a cool idea for over here. Let's look at the Moments and Moods book. Let's see. I'm just going to pull out the pages I want so that we can organize them. Mood tracker, habit tracker, step tracker. For some reason, I didn't do this one for February, and I'm already like kicking myself for that because I like it a lot. We will make a gratitude log. We might use this one, but most of the time I like making a 2-page spread out of it. Let's do the monthly. No, let's not do the monthly miles this month. Let's do it in April. Okay, self-care bingo. That's like my favorite one. Gotta do that. And this one's gonna go to the front. And then I do want this. I think this month, thinking about which of these pages to use. I think we're going to use these two like normal with my self-care bingo because I love how that turns out. And then the paper that we for sure need is this one. Okay, so save those to go with this. That's going to be a 2-page thing. I think this will be a 2-page thing. I like having these together. And then this one maybe will go ahead of the self-care stuff. And I guess maybe we put our quote page with that just because it doesn't need to be 2 pages. So that gives us 1, 2, 3, 4 more pages. Let's see if we can build that then using these. So if you have something and it doesn't seem like it's fitting, you can do cuts to see if you can make it work. I think this one's actually gonna fit if we trim it really close. The other thing you can always do is cut up all your mood tracker stickers and space them more closely together. That would work really well also. Okay, so yeah, that fits perfectly now. I am going to trim right there a little bit more so that if it touches the rainy day reads, it's not going to have that white strip hanging over it and looking like a border. Okay. Okay, and these are right on the edge, so if they start pulling up at all, right here, when you turn the page and open it, if it starts pulling up, just hit it with some double-sided tape. I find that any stickers right in that, like, spine spot tend to pull up. Washi tape stickers, you know, anything you're trying to put down right there. And so a little double-sided tape does wonders there. That's pretty cute. All right, so now that almost fits perfectly now. We're just going to trim it a little bit to make it so we can move over a little bit more, but I think we don't have to do anything to this one. And I'm going to cut off the top and bottom because, as I mentioned, this 8x8 journal is about 1/4 inch smaller than an A5 notebook. And these are printed for A5 specifically, since that's the most commonly used journal size, at least from what I've seen and what I use. Okay, perfect. And we are just going to continue this pattern because this, unless we want to do this going sideways, I think I want to like put it in some other places at the end as little fillers, so I don't think we're going to do that right now. So we're going to use our tape, which, finding the beige tape. Okay, let's just see where we're at and move it. Yep, move it a little bit. There we go. Okay. But let's take a look. I think adding in a Dutch door right here would work really well. We could also think about our tapes. They are like just perfectly fit for the 8x8. Like you have to be exact or else it's not gonna work. But I kind of like this pattern that's going on. Okay, since we have these chairs and they're nice and big and it adds a little green, which we haven't had in this Dutch door yet, we're gonna do that. But again, I'm gonna lift this up and put it in so that I can trim the washi tape on top. Okay. Oh, that's so cute. Okay, so getting all this stuff trimmed. And where did my cutting mat go? So that's what that'll look like. Pretty fun. This is going to stick out pretty far, but that's okay. Okay, and then I'm just going to use the scissors on the other parts. Very cool. Okay. So the next theme just arrived. It looks really cute. My patrons, as I mentioned, always suggest and vote on themes. And so this was their idea and I love it. And while this month did not have matching tapes, next month is going to have so many matching tapes, including some tapes that I've never come out with before sizing wise. And that will be useful across the board in many, many, many different spreads. And so I'm really, really excited for this one. The tapes have not arrived yet. I'm waiting on those, but the sticker books and Moments and Mood books arrived. And as I mentioned, they're the first ones that are undated and will have the month stickers to add in so that you can use it for whatever month you want to, which is a cool change. All right. But I'm really excited for that theme. All patrons have seen what that theme is and all those things by now. So you can go over there and check it out. All right. We are going to trim this one up and see if we can fit it right there. That chair is a little bit of an issue, but we're going to try our best. As always, I get like the framing of the spread done, and then I do my best to fill in the gaps, add some boxes, add any extra decorations, and so on. Okay, so what I think I'm gonna do is if we put it like this, what numbers are we looking at trimming? 21 and 22. So I'm just gonna cut it out like that so that the chair is seen. And then maybe I can just write small on those two dates, like around it. Does that make sense? But we'll keep the line going through it if I don't tear it while trying to take this off, because that's a skinny little spot. Okay. So now we're gonna line it up to make sure we actually do that. Scoot it over a little this way. So we have just that little bit extra of space. All right, and this one I don't even need to trim it all other than just trimming the bottom to get off a little bit more than that 1/4 inch so I don't have to worry about lining it up perfectly on the top and bottom. Okay, little quotes page right in the middle of the spread. That's kind of cool. All right, now we are going to go ahead and do some tape. We are not going to put a Dutch door on this one for one reason. We're going to do self-care. Oh my gosh, I put that way too far over. What the heck? We are going to have the self-care bingo on the next spread, and that one's a pretty big page, so I don't want anything impeding our Dutch door spot. Or impeding the bingo from the Dutch door sticking in and stuff like that. So we'll see how it looks. We can add extra decor if we want to, but I don't want to mess up that one. I wish I had a maroon tape though. I think I need to make a maroon grid tape. The teal, it's sold out. It's my favorite. Teal's my favorite color, but maroon would be my second favorite color. So we're going to restock some of the sold out grid tapes soon. But besides that, I think we need a maroon grid tape. Because I love that color, like this color. That would be great. Let me know if there are any other colors that you specifically are looking for. Okay, self-care bingo. This is a big one this month. Yeah, this will fit. I do need to trim both that little 1/4 inch here and probably about a 1/4 inch on this side so that we can fit it in without going over the tape. So what I like to do is do self-care bingo on one side and then journaling pages on the other side. Like a spot to journal about the self-care bingo, because in the self-care bingo, I change the prompts every month. And I try to get different prompts like physical self-care, mental self-care, social self-care, your environment self-care, so like your home and stuff like that. And so some of them are like journal prompts or make a list or things like that. And so you can do that in your notebook right next to it, and you don't have to get other journaling pages or things like that. So I've really enjoyed doing that. And so we're going to set that up right now. Okay. Okay, so then the question, now that we're doing this, is, do I want another little Dutch door thing sticking out here? I think we probably do. So something smaller than the chair. So these are set up, they're different, but they're set up so that the coffee cups can be, and the book can be the Dutch door. So that one has the added plant, but this side is the same as this side, if that makes sense. So we'll use this one. I'm going to pull this down and put it about there. Yeah, that'll look good. And then we'll have to trim this. Now, if you are doing something like this and making a Dutch door with stickers, any sticker, if you are using paper stickers, you don't need to do what I'm doing right here, because the paper can just go on top of the washi tape and you won't see the washi tape through it. The clear sticker paper means that you'll see the washi tape through it and it'll mess up the image, so that's why I'm trimming it. Like, let's just grab a sticker. Okay. Here's the sticker we're about to use. Like, if I put this over it, you can see the grid through it, which we don't want. So that's why I do it this way here. But if I'm using a paper sticker, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to save the time and just put down the tape and then put down the paper sticker, and it's all easier. All right, there we go. We almost have this whole thing done. Okay, so this one is gonna go right there. And then we're on beige. So where did I put my beige? So I keep checking my watch. I have an appointment later today. I wrote about it in my journal and stuff, but I don't know that I've talked about it here. Over the summer, I had some really wild headaches. They're called thunderclap headaches. If you've ever heard of them, you know. But if you don't, they're headaches that start at a 10 out of 10 pain and start very suddenly. They don't ramp up at all, and that's a pretty scary headache to have. Everything was fine. I am all good, but because of those, I had a neurologist visit, you know, a couple months later when I could get in. Of course, went to the ER, you know, during the headache and stuff, but have a follow-up again today. Everything's fine. Nothing was a problem. But the risk there, in case you've never heard of it, is that if you have a headache that starts super suddenly and is like 10 out of 10 pain, it could be a sign of like an aneurysm or something. So that being said, if you ever have a super sudden headache and you don't know where it came from and it's different than any headache you've ever had, go to the ER. Just, that's your general PSA for today's video. But anyways, I had something called RCVS, reversible vasoconstriction syndrome. Basically, the blood vessels were like constricting, causing headaches. And generally, that's very benign. And it was. And it's gone. But now I get follow-ups with a neurologist just to double check things. But it can be very bad in some cases. So anyways, I keep checking my watch to make sure I'm on time for that. And I have an alarm set too. But we're planners. I always need to double check that I'm on time for everything. All right. So these you can use as planner pages, but I actually love using these little things as boxes for decorating. So that's why I'm cutting it up. I like making a checkerboard out of them, and you'll see in a second. But they are great as like a little planner page as well. And if you have the printable, you can just print it on printer paper at the size you want. Like if you're using a classic Happy Planner size or something like that. And that's really nice and easy too. But today I just want to use the images and not the days. There we go. We got them all. And these we are going to start laying out in some sort of grid, and we will trim them as needed in just a second. But I'm just laying them out where I want them. Okay, that'll do. We're gonna do it like that, and we're gonna start this one up off the page just a tiny bit. And once we lay down one, we can follow our grid. So we'll do this one next so we can make sure we're lining it up in a perfect checkerboard, because these are hard to line up if you don't do them in order. And then we'll do this one. I see that we could trim right about there, so I'm going to try to do that before we put it down because it's going to be easier. And I'm going to try really, really hard to do a straight line, but sometimes that doesn't work out. Okay. The other option would be if you have a paper cutter to do that before you peel the sticker and make a pretty straight line. Okay. We're going to turn it this way. Lining things up sometimes is easier from the side. Okay. And we'll trim the tops and bottoms in a minute as soon as we do this. Okay. Yeah, let's just do this one. Okay. And then, so what I have is these gaps that then I can fill in about the self-care bingo, write down the date of when I did something, do the little journaling list or whatever, and so on. Okay, so this one, we're gonna do the same thing again. I'm gonna mark where I wanna cut it and try very hard to make a straight line. I feel like that may not have been as a straight a line. It's okay, we're gonna go with it. But I am gonna turn it sideways to try to line it up. Okay. Over on Patreon, we just had the vote for the May theme. And now that they're not dated, it's not going to be something that can only be used in May. Yay. But I'm very excited about this theme. And it should be really fun. I've started sketching. And after this video and after my appointment today, I'm going to get into starting to draw some of them for that theme officially. And super excited to see that come together. Okay, so you see the checkerboard here. It's like one of my favorite new things to do. Not new, I've been doing it, I started doing it last year at some point. I've done it on and off, but it's like one of my favorite ways to set up the self-care bingo. I don't know, I just think it looks really fun. And it's like busy but has space. So super fun. Okay, next up we're gonna do the March gratitude log. And yeah, we have this extra space. So we're gonna take it and do it. But before we do it, I'm going to get some in right here. And this is the perfect size to fit. There's like less than 1 millimeter to take off of each side. But I do need to cut it down the center somewhere. Okay, so about here or so. This is a cool little cutting device. It's not amazing at making a super straight line. It does kind of like veer a little bit, but it goes pretty straight. But the reason I like it is because it has these different things you can get. And so it does a wavy line, it does a dotted, like dashed little indent and stuff. So if I need a super straight line, I get out my like industrial paper cutter. But for this, I'm okay with it being a little bit off. Okay, so this is the hard part though, because you need to make sure that you're going all the way up to the, oh, see, we didn't quite go all the way up to the top. Let's lift it up and try again. It's like the tiniest little bit off. Okay, try again. Okay. God, I did it again. Okay. Okay, there, it's at the top, but I need to make sure it goes in a straight line now. So, there we go. All right, we did it, and we'll need to trim that little bit, but we've got this nice straight line from this side of the edge of the paper, so I don't need to do anything to that. And just trim off the littlest bits and this rounded corner. Okay, and then this side. Okay, stickers stuck to me. All right, so this is the last page in this book. We are gonna do the gratitude log, and then we are gonna like set up this beginning stuff, but look at that. That looks so cool at the very end like that. Love it. Okay, so for gratitude log, you can totally just use one page like this, but I like giving a little more space and making it my own with like some highlighter and those personal touches. So I usually just take this thing and plop it in up at the top, and then use the date stickers from the sticker book, which now, starting next month, the Moments and Moods book will have one set of dates in it. But the sticker book does, oh, I just shook the whole camera, I think. The sticker book does have a set of dates in it as well. So what I want to do is do blue, teal, blue, teal, blue, teal. So we're going to do that and just get like 15 or 14 on this page and the rest on that page, because we have a little bit extra space up there. So we'll see if we can organize this the right way. We're just going to move these over as we can. And if we have any space left over, we can make some little decorations as well. Okay. Yeah, I think we're probably going to have some extra space. That's good. Now, this is one of those things that is debatable if you use tweezers or not. Usually my nails are a little bit longer than this, and so I don't need tweezers, and I don't prefer them because I feel like it slows me down. With my nails trimmed a little bit right now, I think I could be using tweezers, but again, I just never have really gotten the hang of them and don't really prefer them, so... Okay, if we go down to 15 here on this side, that will mean I have extra space down here for something. So we're going to do that, the very bottom row. And then we're going to start 16 right up there. Okay, what color? The maroon. And these will just go down in a nice, fairly straight line. User error, right? Human error of not getting things exactly lined up, and like the 16's twisted a little. But I mean, honestly, all that stuff adds character to your spreads, whatever you're making, whether you're making a creative journal spread or a planner spread or a bullet journal spread. Like all the little inconsistencies of the human hand as you like draw lines or do highlighter, like we might do in a second if I can find the matching colors for these. I don't know if I have matching colors, but all those things I think make a spread totally unique and totally yours, and it's a beautiful thing. All right, we are almost to the bottom. There's the 30. And then 31. Okay, and then, you know what? This kind of fits perfectly right there. And what I'm gonna do is try to trim this right at the edge there. Perfect. And then try to trim this one right on the edge of the bookshelf. Very cool. So we've got that. Okay, let me look and see if I can find some matching pens for this. I don't know that I can, but let me try. Okay, so I didn't find the exact colors. This blue is the closest thing I found. It's decent. Okay, this is a swatch sheet with Planning things, but this blue is decently close. It's like in the same color scheme. This has a very nice brownish undertone to it on these box stickers and number stickers. So I think brown is going to be the closest thing we can do to that, and it'll lean in to this nicely. So we're going to go with that. And it's going to look lovely. But I don't have a maroon mild liner or highlighter or whatever. Okay, and I'm just going to draw the lines. My stickers kind of ended up between two, and this month I centered them on the dot instead of in between the dot. So I'm just going right down the dot this time. That was unintentional, but it is what it is, and it'll work. Okay. So again, all these little things that you do in your spread that might be something that someone would call imperfect, I think it's imperfectly perfect for you and your spread. And these little wiggles on these lines and things like that just show that I created it. I spent the time on it to make this thing, and I had that creative moment, and that journey of creating it is part of the process. And so I love seeing that. Now, if it irks you, there are ways to get around it. You can do it with a ruler, but when you're using a ruler, you're going to be getting the ink on the ruler too. So in between each line, you have to have like a cloth and clean off the ruler, or else you might be adding smudges to your page. So just be aware of that if you're going to try that. But that is a great way to make it a little more perfect looking if that's something that you're craving. All right, so we are nearing the end of this. We need to do a few more things, but I am going to try to get this edited and put it up for you guys as soon as possible, since I know this releases tomorrow, and I'm trying to give you the peek and preview of it as soon as possible. I'd hoped to do it earlier this weekend, but we had a big family outing this weekend, and went and did some really fun stuff. And then we went, and yesterday was all like Super Bowl, right? So did not have the time that I'd hoped for this. Okay, so we're gonna put this down and try to get it. Oh yeah, that'll work. Okay, and now we have to trim all the excess. But look at that, really nice, easy way to fill the last of the page. I'm gonna trim a little bit there in a minute too. But we're gonna do some stuff with this still. Where did my scissors go? There they are. Okay, I just flipped it this way, but I think the easiest way to cut this is from the bottom and from the side. By the way, if you didn't see Sweetheart Soda Shop, this theme restocked, not the Moments and Moods book because it is dated, but the sticker book restocked. So all the stickers, all the washi strips, all the boxes are back in stock, and I love that theme. It's one of my favorites I think I've ever created. So go check that out as well. Okay. This one's harder to cut. Come on. We're so close to being done. Okay. That window is just so fun. Oh my gosh. Okay. Before we get to anything else, just this little bit of excess white right here that's not covered by the tape is bugging me. So I'm going to try to trim the littlest bit. Yeah, that's better. Okay. So here we go, and we have the month in review, but I think I'm not going to label it month in review because we say that it's March here. I'm just going to put down these things, and so that we can fit them, we have to cut them all up because we only have like this little space, right? So we're going to figure out where each one can go, and we may layer some boxes with it and other things to just add some other review spaces. But I'm just going to do quick cuts like this for now and figure it out. Okay, highlight of the month. That would be a great one to have here. Most proud of. Let's check those out. Gratitude. Things I learned and want to remember. Most challenging is not really going to fit so well in here this time. So we're going to leave that one off. We're not going to do anything up here, but let's put these down and then layer another sticker over each of them perhaps. So I'm going to give it space by putting that there. Putting this one, actually want to layer it that way, I think, because the most proud of sits right there. Let's put this one like that. Actually, I should have trimmed this before I took that off, but this takes up extra space, and I want to get this closer to the washi tape right there. Okay, so there's kind of our review stickers at the front of the month, but I'll fill it out at the end of the month. There we go. These. All right. So we are just going to layer various things around it. I like this one. I'm actually not going to layer these because this fits perfectly here, but this pulls the color together a little bit. We haven't used a beige yet, so let's use a beige right here. Right down here, let's do a blue. And again, it kind of fits perfectly right next to it instead of layered together. Okay, so that's our month in review page. All right, now what I like to do is flip through and see if there's anything like missing that we could fill in. But I think we fill it in really well. Okay, the last thing, this, if we're looking at it this way, it's just pretty blank. So I thought it might be fun to do a little bit of decoration down it, like little picture frame type things, which I don't have picture frames to put in it. But we could use like these as like pictures on the wall, kind of like collage style, or we could just put these on that have like the outlines, and trying to decide which one I want to do. I think I just want to use these because these are really cute and we haven't used the paper stickers yet. Okay, so we're just going to kind of lay them out as like stickers taking up some space. I love this little one. It says TBR, to be read. And we're making just a little collage space, right? I'm trying to vary where things are on the page. And we do need to get something that goes off the page a little bit. So we're going to do that. Everything's stuck to it. Now you could totally leave it blank and not put this here. I just felt like it was a little bit empty compared to the fullness of the rest of the pages. So it seems like a fun thing to add in, just like a little collage of things. And I think the white border actually on these does a cool thing on this one. I don't think I want it on every spread, but I like how it looks here. And we're getting a few that go off the edge just because I think it looks good that way. I need one thing here. What should we put? Let's add this one down like that. And then I think we could put one up in the corner, so I'm going to try to do a straight line. We'll see how it worked out. All right, there we go. There's our collage. Okay, so here's our final finished bullet journal spread for March. We have our month in review at the end, highlight of the month, most proud of, fun little rainy window here. That was a fun experiment and just fun little thing to add. We've got gratitude, things I've learned and want to remember. We've got our March cover, goals page, habit tracker and mood tracker, step tracker, a quotes page, self-care bingo, which is like my most used page every month. I cannot go without this one, as well as this one, which is our gratitude log. And now there's a lot going on here, thus why we didn't do this. This is also smaller, so we didn't put a collage on the back side, and we see all this stuff hanging over it anyways. But I think this looks pretty cool. All right, everyone, thanks so much for watching. Reminder that these ones do release on February 10th at 8 a.m. Pacific time. And so if you weren't a patron in, this is February. If you weren't a patron at the Happy Mail level or the Sticker Club level in January, then you can go grab these on my site at that time. If you were a patron at those two levels in January, then you will be receiving this in the mail. It's already gone out. All right. Thanks so much for watching, you guys, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.